Imagine a vast, windswept Arctic shoreline where the relentless tide of time has shaped an ancient world. A world where colossal ice formations meet soft, restless waters and the graceful, wrinkled silhouettes of walruses emerge under a pale, emerging sun. In the distance, the muted roar of the ocean carries a story as old as the ice itself, a story of survival, connection, and the delicate balance between nature and human influence. Slow and deliberate, our journey today invites you to witness this mesmerizing Arctic realm and the remarkable creatures that have thrived here for millennia. Their lives, once intertwined with the eternal rhythms of ice and snow, now face changes that are as profound as they are urgent. In the heart of the Arctic, time seems to slow. Here on the frozen margins of the world, the walrus, an ancient marvel, rests upon the dwindling sea ice that has sustained life for countless generations. These animals, with their long tusks and wise, weathered eyes, embody a resilience that has been tested by nature's most extreme forces. As a gentle breeze rustles the snow and the rhythmic sound of cracking ice fills the air, we begin our tale of wonder and trepidation. This is a story that bridges the gap between humanity and nature, a reminder of our shared destiny on a fragile planet. The Arctic has long been a canvas of serenity and stark beauty. For thousands of years, the walruses have meandered along its icy shorelines, their colossal forms a testament to the enduring splendor of life in a harsh, unforgiving environment. Observing them in a moment of repose, one can almost hear echoes of ancient chants, the lyrical saga of survival passed down through the generations of both walruses and the indigenous peoples whose lives have intertwined with these landscapes. The Arctic's endless horizons and shimmering ice fields evoke feelings of reverence and solitude, where every breath of frigid air carries the weight of ancestral memory and natural splendor. But beneath the serene beauty lies an escalating threat. The warming of the Arctic is no distant prophecy. It is a present, palpable force, altering the environment in ways both subtle and catastrophic. Scientific research has shown that the Arctic is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet. This rapid transformation imperils the very foundation of the walrus's world. Sea ice, once abundant and steadfast, is melting at an unprecedented speed, stripping walruses of their vital resting platforms and access to feeding grounds. The graceful, measured pace of life is now punctuated by urgency and alarm. Throughout history, the Arctic has been a place of equilibrium, a dance between ice and water, light and shadow, life and survival. Yet today, that equilibrium is under siege. The transformation is not abstract. It is written in the weathered faces of walruses, forced to abandon their ancient summer abodes, their sturdy ice forts succumbing to the relentless warmth. With each receding glacier and each crack in the once solid ice, the walruses encounter a new chapter of uncertainty. They are compelled to congregate on land, a landscape ill-suited to their colossal needs. Crowds swell into throngs so vast that the very act of resting becomes a perilous endeavor, as increasing densities lead to dangerous stampedes and unforeseen tragedies. Drifting between gentle, immersive sequences of contemplative observation and stark, dynamic depictions of environmental distress, we now witness a turning point, a moment when the beauty of nature collides with the harsh realities of a warming world. In the soft light of dawn, under a sky that shifts from twilight blue to the muted gold of early morning, the walruses gather. Their eyes hold the memories of centuries, and each step they take on unstable ground hints at a struggle for survival that is as dramatic as any in the natural world. Their plight is not merely a tale of individual hardship, but a clarion call to understand the larger forces at play: global warming, loss of biodiversity, and the unforeseen consequences of human actions. Scientific instruments, with their gentle beeps and measured pings, echo the story told by nature itself. Researchers stand at the threshold of these icy realms, recording data that speaks of a planet in flux, a world where the laws of nature are being rewritten under the pressure of rising temperatures. The numbers are stark. Arctic ice is vanishing, and with it, the anchors that have long stabilized this frozen kingdom. With each passing season, as vast white expanses shrink, the walrus population bears the brunt of forced adaptation. Their migration patterns alter, their social structures strain, and the ancient rhythm of life they once knew begins to falter. Yet, as we delve into this narrative of loss and transformation, a thread of hope intertwines with despair. The behavioral adaptations of walruses, honed over countless generations, are as much a symbol of tenacity as they are of vulnerability. When pressed by circumstances that demand swift evolution, these creatures adapt in ways that are both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. They now seek refuge closer to shorelines, often in areas not traditionally inhabited by such large gatherings. In these modified environments, the risks multiply. Crowding leads to competition for limited resources, and the potential for trauma grows in the face of sudden human disturbances or even nature's own unpredictable wrath. In this ebb and flow of threatening change, conservation emerges as both a beacon and a challenge. Dedicated scientists, local communities, and environmental advocates are converging to restore balance to this threatened ecosystem. They are redesigning the ways we interact with this extraordinary environment, establishing marine protected areas, enforcing stricter shipping regulations to minimize disturbances near vulnerable habitats, and embracing the rich, traditional knowledge of indigenous populations who have nurtured these lands for generations. Their collective efforts represent a profound belief that even in the shadow of significant ecological disruption, hope can be rekindled and a future can be reclaimed. As we step into the realm of resolution, the narrative shifts from relentless warning to measured, deliberate action, a call for a united stand against the tide of climate change. The reflective beauty of the Arctic endures even amid turmoil. Its silence becomes a canvas upon which our aspirations for renewal are painted. Conservation initiatives are blossoming, echoing through the corridors of international collaboration, urging governments and citizens alike to think beyond individual interests. They highlight a simple truth. Preserving the fragile splendor of the Arctic is not solely about saving a species or a region. It is about sustaining the balance of our entire planet. Consider the poignant image of a lone walrus emerging from the soft darkness of early dawn, its silhouette etched against a sky streaked with the tender hues of hope. That image, simple and profound, encapsulates the intersection of nature's timeless beauty and humanity's urgent responsibility. In that fleeting moment, we see the embodiment of resilience, a living reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, life finds a way, not unscathed, but persistently courageous. The changes observed in this remote part of the world ripple far beyond icy shores. They signal vulnerabilities shared by countless ecosystems across the globe. As sea levels rise and weather patterns shift, the fate of the Arctic walrus becomes inextricably linked to our collective future. The melting ice is not a spectacle entitled only to documentaries. It is a stark forecast of the challenges our global community must confront. And with every statistic, every chilling account of overcrowded haulouts, perilous stampedes, we are reminded that nature's balance is delicate, sculpted over eons, yet now easily disrupted by forces both great and small. Courageous voices from around the world are now calling for change. In laboratories, on policy floors, and within local communities, people are embracing a future defined by adaptation and stewardship. Inspired by the intricate dance of nature and nurtured by the wisdom of traditional practices, activists and scientists work hand in hand to protect the Arctic's fragile beauty. Their work, though still in its nascent stages in many areas, is a clarion declaration that human commitment can indeed mend what has been disturbed. It is a movement that transcends borders, reaching as far as the deep, resonant beats of a walrus's bellow in the heart of the long, cold night. Across the Arctic, minute actions bloom into a tapestry of collective effort. Small changes, favoring sustainable energy, reducing reliance on fossil fuels, protecting critical habitats, accumulate into an undeniable force for environmental healing. Each initiative, whether driven by policymakers or local custodians, serves as a stitch in the larger fabric of conservation. The science supports it. The evidence is clear. For every gram of ice lost, the call to conserve grows louder. For every walrus forced onto precarious land, the stakes are unmistakably real. And it is in these moments of urgency that humanity, when united by common purpose, emerges as a potent agent for change. In moments of quiet reflection, when the whisper of the wind through melting ice and the distant crash of waves remind us of nature's transient beauty, there lies an invitation to act, to care, and to mend the fractures that threaten not only the Arctic, but our shared future. There is art in the science of change. It is revealed in the intricate mechanisms of migration and the elegant adaptations of a species that has survived the ages. Yet, for all their ingenuity, walruses cannot combat the systemic forces of climate change alone. The delicate division between what is natural and what is influenced by human activity blurs as our actions leave indelible imprints on these frozen landscapes. A single act of conservation, like a single drop in the sea, can ripple outward, transforming despair into hope, chaos into order. As these creatures navigate an ever-shifting world, our responsibility becomes clear: to be thoughtful stewards of the earth, to embrace our power to protect and to preserve. Our journey through this narrative has brought us face to face with nature's grandeur and its vulnerabilities. We have seen the walrus, a creature so emblematic of the ancient rhythms of life, and witnessed the catastrophic toll that modern climate challenges inflict upon it. Yet within that tale of change, there is an undeniable message of hope, a reminder that while nature may be resilient, it still depends on us. This is not merely a distant story told in hushed tones at the edge of existence. It is a living reality, unfolding in real time, as every melting iceberg and every restless walrus signals an urgent plea for our attention. The challenges are immense, yet the potential for recovery is equally vast. Conservation is more than a word. It is a promise, a commitment, and a clear directive for the future. Let us now stand together, drawn by the resonant call of a world in need and the strong, quiet heartbeat of the Arctic wilderness. The echo of this cry is heard in each crashing wave, each shifting fragment of ice, and every soulful glance from a walrus whose ancient eyes speak of endurance and silent summons for help. In this moment of reckoning, we find an opportunity to forge a path toward renewal, a future in which understanding and careful intervention can restore balance to one of Earth's most treasured realms. As twilight descends over the Arctic expanse, the sky transforms into a canvas of deep blue, punctuated by shimmering stars. The final notes of day echo in the distant calls of walruses and the soft rumble of renewing ice. In that delicate transition between light and darkness, we are reminded of the transient beauty of existence and the lasting impact of our choices. The land may be vast and indifferent, yet its inhabitants, both human and animal, share a bond forged in the crucible of nature's immutable laws. There is power in that bond, a power that stirs within us an obligation to act. Now, more than ever, every one of us must lend our voice to conservation. Each action, each decision, reinforces the delicate balance of life in the Arctic. We have seen the overwhelming force of nature and the profound vulnerability etched in every crack of the melting ice. The walrus, this noble symbol of persistence, stands as a poignant reminder of what can be lost if barriers are not built to counter the relentless march of climate change. In the measured cadence of our shared story, there is beauty even amid chaos. The Arctic, ancient and enduring, writes its own saga, one where the interplay of climate and conservation defines not just the fate of a single species, but that of an entire world. It calls us to engage with its beauty, to protect its fragile balance, and to cherish the interwoven destiny of all life on our planet. Embrace the wonder of this rugged wilderness. Let the sight of a walrus basking in the fleeting warmth of daylight serve as a call to action for all of us. Imagine the collective strength of voices united for the protection of one of Earth's most unyielding landscapes. When science, tradition, and the human spirit converge, transformation becomes possible. This is our moment, a time to act, to cherish every shimmer of ice and every life that calls the Arctic home. The hour is now to turn knowledge into action, to cast aside complacency and join the fight for a balanced, thriving natural world. As we stand on the precipice of change, we are faced with a choice: remain silent on the loss of these ancient guardians, or become active participants in a movement that promises renewal and hope. The Arctic walrus, venerable yet vulnerable, is a silent ambassador urging us to safeguard not just its existence, but the delicate tapestry of life that stitches together our shared home. In this final hour of reflection, the true measure of our legacy is found not in the record of what has been lost, but in our resolve to foster what can be saved. Let the quiet determination of conservation shape our future. Let this frozen frontier and its soulful inhabitants remind us that every act of kindness, every mindful decision, can ripple across the vast expanse of our world. And let us remember that our connection to nature is as deep as the Arctic itself, a bond that, when honored, sustains us all. Join the movement to protect Arctic wildlife by supporting conservation initiatives and advocating for policies that combat climate change.